My parents and my friends kind of reacted with more confusion in the sense of them just trying to figure out like, okay, you're gonna read and sing to the dogs and cats. Okay. I'm super grateful that places like this do exist that give animals and stuff a second chance to have a home and to be loved and to be cared about. But yeah, it's also that complicated relationship of feeling like I wish the world didn't have to have places like this. The SPCA, when I first came here, it was on like I remember a random Friday. I was like, since I'm passing, let me just ask. So I came in and I remember Cynthia was at the front desk and I said, okay, could I come in from like next week Monday and just start reading to the dogs? Do you think that would like be something that you guys would be cool with, or do you need more volunteer work in the sense of like the generic, like what everybody knows is volunteer work? She said, yeah, sure, no, that should be. At first she made a joke of it and she said no. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, well I tried something, it didn't work. And she said, no, it's fine, come through. So yeah, that next week Monday, I remember I started coming through. And yeah, now it's like everyone knows, okay, I come in, I have my books, I have my treats, and they're like, okay, just do your thing now. Yeah, so that's how it's gone. My volunteer work with animals started when in grade 5, because that was the first time I was actually introduced to this SPCA, because I was part of the wildlife club. And so one of our excursions for the club was that we came here to the SPCA to just like see the place and to spend some time with the animals. And then, yeah, from there it was kind of like, you kind of just get hooked. The SPCA has kind of always been in my life. And in terms of contributions, because I wasn't always able to come through and like do what I'm currently doing, but it was then just doing donations whenever I got a chance, or yeah, whenever I just had some spare money and stuff, it would be buying like treats and things like that to come and bring in, or getting family members to be like, come on guys, yeah. But yeah. Growing up, yeah, I was not really allowed to have pets. I mean, we took a chance with my parents and would get like tiny pets like a hamster, bunnies. But then from there they just said no, like they didn't want us to have any dogs or cats or anything, because they just didn't want us to go through the heartache of losing a pet, because my dad especially lost a pet when he was younger, and he said he just didn't want us going through that kind of pain and heartache. So yeah, we weren't allowed to have like dogs and stuff growing up. I used to feel down about it, but yeah, then it just meant like I had to find pets in another way. So it's like I became friends with a lot of people who had pets and stuff like that. I made a plan. My parents and my friends kind of reacted with more confusion in the sense of them just trying to figure out like, okay, you're gonna read and sing to the dogs and cats. Okay, but you do you, that's fine, that's lovely. So they was met with a bit of confusion initially, but yeah, so I think, but they were like fully supportive of it, and really, I think they knew it was something I was passionate about, so they just kind of went with like, okay, Luvania's gonna do what she wants anyway, so may as well support her while she does it. Miss Honey could hardly believe what she was hearing. She had heard that parents like this existed all over the place, and that their children turned out to be delinquents and dropouts. But it was still a shock to meet a pair of them in the flesh. Matilda's trouble, she said, trying once again, is that she is so far ahead of everyone else around her that it might be worth thinking about some extra kind of private tuition. I don't really know where the idea of reading and singing started. The singing kind of just came on the job when no one was around, and I was like, I'd like to sing to you guys. But the reading was kind of like also to heal my inner child, because the books I read to them are like Roald Dahl and stuff, all my like favorite childhood books. So it was kind of like it's entertaining for you as well as me. So that's kind of where that started. The reason why I chose books like Roald Dahl, it will also be a lot of like children's books. Right now I'm still working through all the Roald Dahl books, so that's currently been the fan favorites. But yeah, it's just because those are part of my childhood, and I thought like it would also be a fun thing, like part of healing my inner child. So it's playing with animals, reading my favorite books that I had as a kid. Like, that's just healing your inner child work 101, it seems to me. So yeah, that's pretty much the inspiration behind books like Roald Dahl and like The Little Prince and stuff like that. If you're selling raffle tickets, I don't want any. I'm not, Miss Honey said, and please forgive me for butting in on you like this. I'm Matilda's teacher at the school, and it is important I have a word with you and your wife. Got into trouble already, has she? Mr. Wormwood said, blocking the doorway. Well, that's your responsibility from now on. You'll have to deal with her. the animals react it's awesome to actually see if like you get it in the right timing and stuff. But everything just kind of goes quiet. Like you'll notice there's sometimes a lot of barking initially and stuff because they're excited. But after some time, if you give it like probably 5 to 10 minutes, everything just goes quiet and they just kind of, you can see they're all just kind of relaxed and resting against the entryways. And yeah, they just kind of, they go very mellow. And even if there are any slightly more aggressive dogs, generally they're all very kind and sweet and there's no issues. But like the more reserved ones or the more like scared ones, you'll notice like there was one dog, she was very like skittish and stuff at first. Like she'd only, if like I'd put the treat down, she'd notice, but it was only when I walked away, she'll come and she'll like take the treat and go back to like the back area and chill there. But then after some time, like after a week or so, like she actually would start to come out and like check you out a bit and stuff like that, because now she's a little more comfortable. So the reason why I decided to study law and not something like veterinary science or biology, I think specifically with regard to veterinary science, I don't know if I would have had the stomach for it and the heart for it, because I've got a friend who's like a vet as well, like who studied to be a vet now. When she talks about things that they do, I'm kind of like, I can't see myself doing that. But yeah, so and that's more for that. But then for biology, I mean, I've always had a keen interest in biology, but I just think career-wise, it just never really appealed to me like for a long-term career-wise thing. And initially I even wanted to study medicine. That didn't end up working out. Then I found law and I was like, this clicks with me. So I don't know, I guess this is just where I needed to kind of be. My thoughts on animal shelters, it's a bit mixed. It's not that I don't like them and it's not that I love them either, because it's when you understand that it's kind of sucky that places like this have to exist, but when you have a dose of realism, you realize why they're necessary. So in that sense, I'm super grateful that places like this do exist, that give animals and stuff a second chance to have a home and to be loved and to be cared about. But yeah, it's also that complicated relationship of feeling like I wish the world didn't have to have places like this. But it's understanding that they do great work, and like the team here is so amazing in how they look after and care for the animals. And just the love and the care that they give. The needs of the SPCA will always be things like funding. It would always be like people donating food, needing, especially like during winter months, blankets is always a big need. Yeah, and toys to play with, things like also just quality time with the animals. I love that schools also do like little excursions here. I've like a few times I've seen kids coming through and just playing with the animals, which is always great, because they don't always get that like that love and attention and stuff, so it's always great to see that. And also like with their upcoming event, there'll be like the 3rd of September, they're going to have like this little walk. You can see it on the SPCA Benoni on their Facebook page and Instagram, I think, where they're just going to have like a spring walk where you can bring your dogs and stuff. You just donate to bring like a smaller dog or a bigger dog. And yeah, it's just kind of events like that and support for events like that that really do make all the difference. It really does.